We're back with Trayvon Martin's parents, Sabrina Fulton and Tracy Martin, and their attorney, Benjamin Crump. I want to talk for a moment about Rachel Gentile. She was Trayvon's friend, and she was a key witness in this case, the last person to speak with him. Sabrina, what was going through your mind as you watched her testify?
I was just so glad that she did agree to it. I just think back to when we first found out about her, and we did contact her, and I met up with her. It was just a very emotional meeting, and I begged her. I pleaded with her, and she did not want anybody to know who she was, and that was the reason why she gave me a different name, because that was the nickname that she used. But I just begged her, and I told her, just tell what happened, tell the truth, just do this for your friend, just do this for Trayvon. And it was a very emotional meeting. So seeing her again on the stand, I can appreciate her. I appreciate her for standing out, for standing up, because some people would have just said, well, I don't remember, I don't know. And she could have done that. But instead, she said, let me just tell what happened. Let me just tell, you know, that I was on the phone with him and exactly what I heard. And I appreciate her for that.
And she really, Tracy, got into it with the defense. Let me show you her and Don West getting into it a little.
Are you claiming in any way that you don't understand English?
I understand you. I understand you. I do understand English.
My question is, when someone speaks to you in English, do you believe that you have any difficulty understanding it because it wasn't your first language?
I understand English really well.
Are you okay this morning?
Yeah.
You seem so different than yesterday. I'm just checking. Did someone talk with you? Yes. Did someone talk with you last night about your demeanor in court yesterday?
No, I went to sleep.
You don't know that Trayvon got hit.
He could. He had.
You don't know that Trayvon didn't at that moment take his fist and drive it into George Zimmerman's face.
Just lower your voice.
Do you?
No, sir.
Tracy, she told us on Politics Nation she felt he was disrespecting her, talking about English and all, because she had actually been interviewed by him a couple of times before she testified, and none of this came up.
Yeah, I thought it was very disrespectful to her and her family as well. I thought it was witness badgering. You had to remember this is a young lady who was the last person that talked to one of the persons she considered her best friend. She gave accolades to Trayvon. Trayvon was that friend that never belittled her, that never talked to her. And for Don West to get her on stage like that and try to belittle her and disrespect her, I thought it was very distasteful.
Reverend Sharpton, I think when you look at her testimony is very consistent, and legally her testimony, had there been a conviction, her testimony made it legally sufficient because it was very consistent. The 911 operator, when they're talking to Trayvon's killer, said he's running away.
Right.
Rachel says he's running away, and they're both on the phone at the same time. Now, they talk about some big conspiracy. The phone records don't lie. He said Trayvon's running away, and it just flies in the face of common sense that somebody who's running away from you moments before is going to try to attack you. It's more akin to Trayvon was trying to defend himself, and that's what her testimony was consistent with that. And lastly, I think what Tracy said was so true, and it really got at your heart. She said Trayvon never made fun of her about her complexion or her weight. And don't we all want our children to be like that? Don't go with the crowd and try to make fun of people, but to be compassionate and say, I see you for who you are, Rachel.
Now, Zimmerman didn't testify, Sabrina. How did you respond when you found that when the defense got ready to arrest and you were not going to hear Zimmerman get on the stand and tell his story?
Well, I just thought that he would. If you're saying that you're defending yourself and it's a self-defense claim, then why didn't people hear from you? Why didn't people hear what he had to say about his accounts of what happened? You know, and the prosecution wasn't given a chance to cross-examine him, to ask him any questions specifically or in detail about that night.
Now, in an interview, Tracy, his mother was asked what she would say to you as parents, and she said this, listen.
We are deeply sorry for this tragedy, deeply sorry, and we pray for that departed. We pray for Trayvon Martin.
How do you feel about her saying that?
I'm not concerned right now. I'm not concerning myself with what they're saying. We're more focusing ourselves on our family and how our family feels and how we can heal our family and how we can start healing our friends. In time will heal all wounds, but right now that wound is still open, it's still very fresh. So we're more focused on what our family thoughts and prayers are.
Let me ask you before we go to break. When you think about the trial and you think about the interviews that you went through, both on the stand and the interviews of the parents of George Zimmerman, the fact is that you, no matter what had happened, would not have gotten your son back. So the cause for you now is what? What is it that you are trying to achieve in the name of your son?
In the name of Trayvon Martin, we're trying to make sure that this is prevented, that kids feel safe and this does not happen to somebody else's teenager or somebody else's child and somebody else gets away with murder. We want to make sure that these laws are changed. We want to make sure that people are listening to what happened during the trial and even now, and we make positive change.
And I think that you formed a foundation trying to do work. Explain that, Tracy, what you and Sabrina do.
We founded the Trayvon Martin Foundation, and we're trying to create an atmosphere where we can give scholarships, we can mentor children, we can advocate for senseless crimes, we can get out and try to make amendments on some of the laws. We're trying to implement the Trayvon Martin bill. It's a lot of things that we have out there in place that we're working on, and it's not just for the black communities. It's for people with just decency in themselves, and we want to make sure that Trayvon's legacy stays here, and not just after this trial. We want to make sure this is an ongoing thing.
I want to talk about that. From the president to Stevie Wonder to Bruce Springsteen, the power of the Trayvon Martin story. That's next.